What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 50, and today we are returning with the thank you special. So I just want to say, if you're a new viewer to the channel, then basically every save I do when we hit 50 or 100 episodes in a series, I make a thank you special. It's normally about 30 minutes long. This one I think is just under 30 minutes, but it's around that. And tons of games in one episode. It's like 3 episodes rolled into one, basically. Just say thank you for all the support on the series, and the support has been amazing as well. I want to start the video off by saying thank you to all of you guys, because it does feel as though like this has been such a well appreciated and received series, and you know, it's been awesome seeing the great feedback and the great comments and reach the appreciation from you guys as well. I love doing more realistic saves and trying to put more emphasis on realism, and yeah, whilst it is very hard to do that in FIFA career mode for many different reasons, it's great to know you guys have really responded well to this, and I want to start off by saying thank you, because you know, without you guys I wouldn't be here, obviously, as we know. And yeah, it's always great when you do a series and you have so much fun creating it and playing it and editing it and everything, and it's just made even better when, you know, the audience absolutely love it as well. So thank you so much, I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoy the 50 special, the 50 thank you special, the thank you special. So today what we got? We got 10 games today as we get through the final month competitively. We play our last fixture in November, which is here against Southampton at Goodison Park on the back of our win over AZ in the Europa League group stage. And then we've got 9 games coming in December, 3 of which are Merseyside derby. There are 3 Merseyside derbies in today's episode. Unbelievable, right? One in the Carabao Cup and then home and away in the league as well. As we reached the halfway point of the season in what has been an incredible season so far for the Toffees. So we started off with Southampton and we won the game comfortably. 3-0 victory. Hudson-Odoi, Lukaku and McKennie are goal scorers here. And the third way through the season, you see the league table here as we end November. We're still in second. We're 2 points behind Liverpool, who are just unreal this season. But it's been a crazy start for the Toffees. I said this year it's Champions League or bust. We got to get to the top 4, otherwise I will probably resign. This is just a ridiculous team. This is absolutely phenomenal side. And, you know, last year, you know, we kind of bottled it towards the end of the season. I'll admit it, I kind of choked towards the end of the season. I think the main reason why I was kind of distracted by our FA Cup run, no, let's be honest here. I was distracted by the FA Cup run, and I guess you could call it a welcome distraction, because we won our first major on in 30 years. But right now, in the top 4, and we're a third way through the season, and I guess it's kind of like how Arsenal have been this year, you know, Arsenal leading the way right now in the Premier League, of course, as we know. And it's funny when you see all the posts on social media from Arsenal fans like, oh, this is terrible, because it's just nerve-wracking, do you know what I mean? Like, they prefer to be in second right now. It's kind of how I'm feeling right now as well. It's kind of nice to know that we're actually currently not top of the table, because then I'll start to get my hopes up a little bit. Right now it's all about top 4, and we're doing a really good job at that. So for the following game, Spurs away, North London. I have said if we are to be top 4 this year and to be in a proper title race, we do need to win the big games. And we started off well this season. You know, we've beaten Arsenal, we've beaten Manchester City. Now going away to North London, taking on Antonio Conte's Tottenham Hotspur. They went down to 10 men super early. Bruno Guimaraes, former Magpie, diving in. Booking probably would have been a right call there, but giving us a red card, and I just could not break them down. I hit the woodwork in the first half for Conor Gallagher, couldn't get clear-cut chances until I got a great one with 5 minutes remaining, and after I brought on DCL. What a time to get your first goal in the Premier League this season. 5 minutes remaining. Took off Romelu Lukaku, who we know is my top scorer, but at times he can be a little bit streaky. Can go missing every now and then. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, first game of the season in the Premier League, off the bench. First goal in the Premier League this season off the bench, and it's a game winner as well. You love to see it. DCL, the hero, right at the death. And after Liverpool finally lost for the first time this season, a shock defeat at home to Thomas Frank's Brentford, who are off to a good start this season, 8th place right now. Toffees are back on pole position. Toffees are top of the table again, and I'm sitting there like, I mean, it's good, like, it's good. It's like with Arsenal, though. It's like, it's just nerve-wracking, do you know what I mean? It's like, we're only a third of the way through the season. Arsenal, we're coming towards the business end of the season in real life right now, and it's funny because I've got a mate who's an Arsenal fan as well, and he's been saying, like, all season, he's been like, oh yeah, we'll drop off at some point, and now we're in the final stretch. This guy's absolutely breaking it, man, and it's kind of how I'm feeling right now in the top as well. We're only a third of the way through the season, but we've gone back into pole position after Liverpool's first loss of the season. We're a point clear, and I'm like, I kind of don't want it. Like, I want to be in third right now. Do you know what I mean? So the top four is looking likely, but there's an outside shot at the title. I don't want to be top for, like, most of the season. I've been bricking it towards the end of the campaign, I'm sure. But that's where we are right now. Whether we hold on or not, well, I'll say what my Arsenal mate said earlier on in the season. We'll fall off at some point, I'm sure. Anyway, for the following game, back home, Newcastle United, Eddie Howe's side taking them on at Goodison. Took leave for Ryan Sessegnon. That was his first goal in the league this season with Sessegnon. Bought him on a free transfer. I gotta be honest, he's been alright for me. Of course, we have changed his position, and if you've been watching me this year, then you'll know that when I change a player's position, it normally takes a while before they start to excel in that position. What's that saying? I love transitions take time. But even so, first goal in the Premier League this season, pleased to see it. But whilst we would surrender our lead right before the break, Nahuel Bustos making it 1-1 after McKennie went down injured in stoppage time. How many times do we see this in FIFA? And I've talked about it before, and it's something that does need to be toned down. Those final kick of the game goals, we see it so often. 94th minute, there was only supposed to be one additional minute of stoppage time, and so many times I get stung by that. Well, this time I've got to hold my hands up and accept I've got a little bit of luck. Romelu Lukaku's 11th of the season as he pops up with the game winner with the final kick of the game. And this is why DCL is constantly sat on the bench. Yes, he bagged the game winner against Spurs, but Romelu Lukaku has just bailed me out time after time after time again, and then some more times as well since we've re-signed him. I gotta say, man, for all the transfers we've done in this save, for all the new signings we've brought in, I think Romelu Lukaku, I think you've got to say, as good as Hudson-Odoi has been for us, don't get me wrong, I think Romelu Lukaku has just been an absolute star since we've re-signed him. But there was some bad news. Right before Bustos scored that leveller on the stroke of half-time for Newcastle, Weston McKennie did go down with a 3-month injury. Broken toe for McKennie. Bit of a shame there for Weston, obviously. When it comes down to injuries, I said before, though, like, I know it sounds kind of strange, but I kind of like it. I know it sounds really, really strange, and I suppose a little bit sick. You sicko docs, liking to see players get injured, but it is, of course, more realistic when that happens. So, yeah, McKennie going down with a 3-month injury. We'll be alright, though. We've got a ton of depth in CM, man. Absolute ton of depth. Onana and Varela on the bench. We've got James Garner and Tom Davies who can do a decent job, unless we forget Ross Barkley as well. So, I think we'll be alright. But still, following that, we had our final Europa League group game as well. Derry City at home, the Irish lads coming to take us on at Goodison here. Obviously, we already topped the group with a game to go, so I feel it is my weakest possible lineup for this game here to make sure everyone's fit for the weekend game. This was the most bizarre Everton lineup you have ever seen. This was a cursed Everton lineup. It was really, really poor. You'll never see these 11 players in this formation ever again, I'm sure. This was a really, really weak lineup. Yet, taking on Derry City, obviously would still be the favourites to win it anyway, and we were just absolutely running rampant in the first half. Ellis Sims had bagged the brace, and then right before the break, there he is! I just mentioned him, Boss Barkley! Back at Goodison, first goal of the season. His contract coming at the end of the year. Listen, I don't think I'll extend it, but it's nice to see him get on the pitch, let alone get a goal as well. Boss Barkley and Ellis Sims, the goal scorers, on a 3-0 victory there. And there we go, we topped the group with 6 wins out of 6, and that is a real surprise, because when the group was drawn, listen, I thought we'd top it, and I thought we'd qualify, don't get me wrong, but I didn't think it was going to be that routine for us. Only 2 goals conceded, 12 scored as well, and again, a perfect 6 from 6. I did not see that coming, but when you look at the league table right now in the Premier League as well, right before our first Merseyside derby of the season away at Anfield here, top of the tree, 15 games in, it really has been a remarkable season for Everton, and like I said, it's mirroring Arsenal's kind of season. We're all sitting there thinking, like the Gunners fans were, top 4. So we want, boys, top 4, back in the big time, back in the Champions League. And right now we're sitting there thinking, yeah, but pole position, like you just never know. You know, it's a little bit nervy right now, but this was going to be the ultimate test. Liverpool away, Merseyside derby, first one of the season, and heading into this game after we beat them last year and we thrashed them in the FA Cup final to win our first major honour in 30 years. This was perhaps our biggest Merseyside derby of the save. Would you say it was even bigger than the FA Cup final? You possibly could, to be fair, knowing what was at stake. And heading into the game, well, I thought, right, keep it tight early doors, boys. Keep it tight early doors. Worst possible start. Half an hour in, first for a chance. And Darwin Núñez, the Uruguayan, with an absolutely sensational ship. And there's so much talk about Núñez this year, and so many people saying he's a flop. To me, that's a really harsh statement. To call him a flop after this season so far, I think that's a bit harsh. His first year in Premier League football. Listen, he's no robot. He's no Erling Haaland, obviously, but I think it's still really harsh to say that. I like Núñez. I think he will come good for Liverpool. I really do believe that. But he gave the rest the lead. 8th goal in 10 games. We fall behind half an hour in. But in half, very few chances. There are only 2, really. 1 for either side. And both were taken. Right before the break, looking for our leveller. We got it. Ball dinked into the middle. Callum Hudson-Odoi controls and strokes it in to the bottom corner. And like I said a moment ago there, whilst, you know, Hudson-Odoi's been superb for us. Lukaku's still our main man. But Callum Hudson-Odoi, man, he's such a great source of goals, man. 5 in 16. Just under 1 in every 3. And we're level right before the break. So at half time, I thought, right, we can play this game one of 2 ways. Settle for the point, keep ourselves top, or be brave, be bold, and go for the win. And on the stroke of the hour mark, oh, get in. What a finish from my guy. You know I love him to pieces, and I love this celebration in front of travelling fans. I say travelling fans, didn't have to travel far. Right in the corner from Kefren Turan, strokes it, kisses it in off the post, no chance to Brazilian Alisson, and we're in front for the first time. And this season, I said, if we are to win the title, we've got to be resilient. There'll be games we've got to come from behind to win, and we look as though we could possibly do it again. As Núñez is denied by Pickford and Fabinho's shot is blocked by Thuram as we're still in front by a goal. After we got ourselves in front, Liverpool looking for an instant response, but our defence was staying tight as we aimed to see out a massive 3 points and our first Merseyside derby victory in the Premier League this season. And with 3 minutes to go after Thuram gave us the lead, he offloads to Ryan Sessegnon down the right. And from 2 yards out, off the bench, it is game over. Liverpool 1, Everton 3, and Steffi Mavididi off the bench for Hudson-Odoi gives us the dagger and ensures great camera angle. We will win the first Merseyside derby of the season and 3 in the space of a week and a half. Brilliant from Sessegnon down the right hand side there. And this was one of those games where, you know, when you've signed a player and they're just not really doing it for you, and then every now and then, like we'll say every now and then, and then eventually there's one game where he springs into life. Well, this is the perfect way to wrap it up. Ryan Sessegnon in this game was absolutely ridiculous, man. And, you know, I said at the start of today's episode, like, I haven't really been getting on with Sessegnon since I signed him. And that's why Mavididi has started more games than Sessegnon for me, because he's proven in this team. Mavididi's been great. Sessegnon, I haven't really got on with him this year. But I was waiting for one game for him to explode into life. Well, talk about picking your moments, right? His first ever Merseyside derby, he set up 3 and he got a goal himself as well. Unbelievable. Game came down to who was more clinical. In the end, it was us. We scored with every single shot, and Sessegnon had a hand in all 4 of our goals. Set up the first 3 and then scored our 4th as well. Oh, man, what a win. And a sign of resilience right there. Absolutely massive win, and it puts us 4 points clear of Liverpool as we approach the halfway stage, 7 clear of Chelsea, and crucially 10 clear of West Ham in 5th. So again, remember when Leicester won the title with Claudio Ranieri? We just need to get to 40 points. He was talking about just keeping them safe in the Premier League, and they went all the way to win it. All I'm going to say is this: we're 10 points clear of West Ham. We've just got to keep ourselves clear of 5th place to keep ourselves in the top 4. Lads, don't think about the title. Don't think about it right now. Honestly, man, let's just keep it calm. Buzzing, absolutely buzzing, man. What a win. And if you're enjoying the video, guys, we're halfway through today's 30 minutes thank you special. Please do drop a like. I really would appreciate it. Like I said, today's episode is like 3 episodes rolled into one, so yeah, a like would really be appreciated. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying so far. There's still some massive games to come. So massive win there against the Reds, against Jurgen Klopp's side, and not for the first time this season, but for like the 4th time already this season, we've came from behind to win a game. Great sign of resilience. Now taking on Watford, the Hornets, back in the Premier League, expecting a banker here at Goodison Park. Well, how often do I say this? You know, sometimes the games you expect to be the easiest are the hardest to win. It was a first half of dominance from the Toffees, and yet we were still dead up at 0-0. I almost scored a free kick, which would have made this episode even more incredible had I scored a free kick and my first to the save there. Brilliant stop to deny Conor Gallagher. But we were still tied at 0-0, and then right after the restart, Spria gives Watford the shock lead. I was thinking, this is absolutely typical. We go to Liverpool, we win 4-1 in a memorable Merseyside derby, and my first victory at Anfield since the save began. My first victory away against Jurgen Klopp's side since I became Everton manager. My first win at Anfield. But 3 now Merseyside derby victories in a row consecutively. We finally turned the corner after being battered by them every time we faced them. Finally, we're getting on their level. But now we're taking on Watford at home. We're a cold town. There's 3 against Watford. It's absolutely typical, man. Just absolutely typical. Hudson-Odoi did equalise soon afterwards to make it 1-1, but I just could not beat their goalkeeper, man. I mean, he made save after save after save in this game. Just one of those games where, like, your goalkeeper can catch a cold, their goalkeeper could catch something really hard to catch, a slippery potato. I don't know why I said potato, but even so, in the end we drew it 1-1, and that was such a frustrating game, man, because, like, you know, we go, like, my first win at Anfield since I became Everton manager, a 4-1 victory, it's 4 points clear, and then we draw at home to Watford. Just so typical. That is just like typical Everton. That's so frustrating. But yeah, a 1-1 draw there against Hornets, such a disappointing result there. And I was thinking, okay, alright, following game, Fulham away, Marco Silva's side. You know, I've talked about Fulham before. What a tremendous job Marco Silva's doing this year. You know, I've been to Craven Cottage before. I mentioned before, one of my favourite grounds in England. I love the redevelopment of their Riverside stand. Absolutely beautiful. You know, I'm a sucker for stadiums and architecture. It's one of the reasons why I love Craven Cottage so much. But taking on Fulham away from home, I was right, okay. Now, one of the things I've said, you know, I gave at the start of the season, like, my 5 points that you need to hit if you are to, like, win championships, and one of those is that you need to be resilient and you need to bounce back as well. So if you slip up in one game, you got to bounce back in the following one. So I thought we've done that every single time this season. Now let's see if we can keep it going. Fulham away, tough game in West London, and we fell behind right before the break. Yeah, Patagna with the opener, and Fulham have the lead. And I was thinking, come on, man, we just went to Anfield, won 4-1, my first win at Anfield since I became Everton manager. How are we going to slip up against Watford and Fulham in the following 2 games, man? We're top of the table, we're going to totally bottle it so soon after, right from kickoff. Well, we knew it was going to happen. Ryan Sessegnon back at his old stomping ground, moving on from Fulham to Spurs, now at Everton, back in West London, and Ryan Sessegnon finds our level. It always happens. Player against his former team, you know he's going to score for you. So it's 1-1, we're back on level terms. 66 minutes in, looking for the goal to get ourselves in front for the first time in the game. Great save on Romelu Lukaku though, as we were still tied at 1-1. But from the corner, floated in by Ryan, who's really coming into his own now. And Romelu Lukaku, with not the best header, I'll be totally honest, but a header that finds the back of the net, gets the goal and puts us in front for the first time in the game. And how many times this season have we came from behind to lead? You love to see it. We've done it again. Fulham 1, Everton 2, the comeback Kings with another, and then in stoppage time, aiming to see out the game. Fulham played a high press, took loads of white shirts forward, and as we rolled it across to the middle, Steffi Mavididi makes it 3. Such a tough dilemma for me, man. Who do I start, Sessegnon or Mavididi? Because Mavididi is like Mr. Consistent. This guy is just always getting it done for me in this team. He started off really poor for me, but now He's unbelievable, but Sessegnon's really coming into his own as well. So I've got 3 wingers, and I want to play them all, but one's got to be on the bench. Hudson-Odoi, you know, is probably my best, but then it's like Sessegnon versus Mavididi. It's so difficult. They both scored in that game there. And speaking of Steffi as well, we changed position, but you look at the stats here of my wingers. It's unbelievable. Hudson-Odoi's got 9 goals this year. Mavididi's got 8 in 15, and now Sessegnon's coming into his own as well. Poor old Iliman Ndiaye, like, he's a bit of a fan's favourite in Ndiaye. I know you guys love him as well, but I can't play Ndiaye because at the moment I've got 3 wingers. They're absolutely superb. It's the reason why Dwight McNeil rarely gets on the bench, let alone in the first 11, because my current winger's just absolutely bossing it for me. But a massive win there, and Lord knows we needed it after the disappointing 1-1 slip up at home to Watford. So following game, it's Wednesday night, and heading into this game here, well, Carabao Cup quarter-finals, and I was thinking, alright, last year we beat Liverpool in the FA Cup final. We've now won 3 straight Merseyside derbies, one at Goodison, one at Wembley, and one at Anfield very recently. Now we're back here once again. Can we make it 4 straight, and my 2nd win at Anfield since I became Everton manager? Well, I looked at the league table. I saw we had a big game on the weekend against Manchester United in the Premier League, and I thought, we're top right now. This is the quarter-finals of the League Cup. Lots of games coming. We'll have the Europa League knockout round coming in March as well. I'm gonna wave the white flag. I'm gonna wave the white flag. So do you remember in the game against Derry City when I said you won't see this Everton lineup ever again? Well, you see it a couple of weeks later, because this was just another awful Everton team. And I went into the game and thought, all right, lads, play for positions here, play for places. They were playing for nothing. I mean, this was just an absolute massacre here at Anfield. And after 3 straight wins against Liverpool, where we'd finally turned the corner, well, the Everton fans that turned up for this one want their money back, no doubt about it. 42 quid to watch the reserves because I just threw out my backup side and thought, yeah. Whatever happens, happens, basically. Forget it, because right now we're top of the Premier League. We're into the knockout stages of the Europa League. Forget about the Carabao Cup, man. The ball don't even count as an objective, so why should I? Whilst Jurgen Klopp's fist pumping the Klopp and he's absolutely loving it, I'm sat there thinking, it's fine, mate, take it. Take the EFL Cup. They're through to the semi-finals. They got battered 4-0, but I picked a ridiculously weak lineup because 3 days later we had this Manchester United, a side last year that got in the top 4, that have the best defensive record in the division, and I was thinking, this is a far bigger game to me. Far bigger game. Yes, it's a Merseyside derby. Yes, pride's at stake. Yes, I've won 3 straight, and 4 straight will be amazing, but forget it. Like, let them have the Carabao Cup. It doesn't count towards our objectives, so forget it. We want to retain our FA Cup. We want to go further in Europe this year, and we need to stay in the top 4. This is a much bigger game. So I waved the white flag at Anfield, so we're fully strengthened, fully fit for this game here back at Goodison. But that means that you've got to win. Like, if you basically not forfeit a game, but basically just, you know, throw out the kids and the resis with the intention of winning the next one, you have to win. Do you know what I mean? You cannot slip up in the following game, man. You have to pull out a result. Otherwise, you've totally, you know, thrown a game, or well, not really thrown a game or forfeited a game. You've basically just like surrendered a good chance of winning a game for nothing. It was all for nothing. So we had to make sure we get a result in this game. 68 minutes into a really tight, tense game here against Ten Hag's side. I gotta say, I was a little bit furious. I was really furious this moment. Now, I thought Onana made an amazing challenge on Vitinha after Pickford made a great save on the 1-on-1. The referee thought otherwise. Penalty, Antony steps up, and the Brazilian dinks it into the middle as the former Ajax and Sao Paulo man makes it 1-0, sorry. Red Devils in front, and I was thinking, well, my plan has totally backfired. Rest everyone for Wednesday night at Anfield, and then lose on the weekend as well. I might as well play my first team. Even so, we're down by a goal. Antony from the spot. I thought it was a little bit harsh. I didn't think it was a penalty myself. I thought Onana made a great challenge, but even so, 2 minutes to go. We're down by a goal, and thank God we'd see this. Vitaly Mykolenko, the Ukrainian comes up big with the leveller, and what a time to get your first goal of the season, down by a goal. I wasn't playing very well. I'd had a couple of half chances, but I wasn't playing very well. But late goals, man, honestly, and we've battled back from losing position so many times this season, mainly to claim wins, but in this case, it's a point. However, I will take, because the draw does mean halfway through the season, officially halfway through, we're still 10 points clear of 5th, where Man City are right now. We've gone 5 points clear of Chelsea, who have jumped up into 2nd place. So we're still top at the official halfway point in the season. But of course the question is, can we stay there? Final game of today's episode is our 3rd Merseyside derby in about 2 weeks, taking on the Reds, but this time our first one at Goodison this season. Once again, Jurgen Klopp versus Dogs. We've definitely turned a corner now. We feel as though we can match up to Liverpool every time we face them. We're a different Everton team to the one we took over at the start of the save, when every time we faced them we got battered. But now taking them on, looking for revenge after our EFL Cup quarter-final defeat, but of course a much stronger lineup than in that game there at Anfield. So New Year's Eve, only 1 win in 4 in all competitions. Now taking on Liverpool, fresh, raring to go, final game of December. Oh, Ryan Sessegnon just seems to turn it on against Liverpool. It was man of the match at Anfield, absolutely phenomenal display, and he just sent Kyle Walker-Peters to the floor right from kickoff. 4 minutes in, Sessegnon's 4th of the season, his 2nd against Liverpool. Half his goals this year have come against Liverpool, and Sessegnon puts us in front right from kickoff. Everton 1, Liverpool 0. In our 20th game of the season, as we aim to stay top of the table and possibly go 8 points clear. And 27 minutes in, I said a moment ago, can we stay there, top of the table? Well, right now, the odds on us winning the title have gone from like 25 to 1 at the start of the season to probably odds-on favourite. Because Conor Gallagher makes it 2, and then just past the hour mark in a game where I was really doing a great job of controlling, we were still leading by 2. Lukaku runs forward, offloads to Steffi Mavididi, and we go 3 goals up as he comes off the bench to bag our 3rd. Everton 3, Liverpool 0, and in our last 5 Merseyside derbies, we're on course to win 4 of them. This is a different Everton team. We could have made it 4 in stoppage time as well. Should have done so as well. Kefa and Thuram firing just wide with the final kick of the game, but it did not matter. A clean sheet, amends made after our humiliating loss in the EFL Cup quarter-final. 3-0 the final score. This is a different Everton team to the one we took over. This is an Everton team who, when we first began this save, faced Liverpool and could not pick up a point, let alone all 3. Now we've won 4 of our last 5 Merseyside derbies, including a cup final and my first win at Anfield since I became Everton manager. Everton 3, Liverpool 0. A brilliant display, both defensively and offensively, and it does mean, like I mentioned, as we start the new year off, 20 games in, Everton are 8 points clear of West Ham and Chelsea. 11 clear of the Reds, who we just beat in 5th place. But I have to say, as I've tried to downplay it all through the season, from this point here, I don't think there's any doubt about it now, what was a rank outsider has now become the favourite. 8 points clear at the top of the table. But like Arsenal fans have been saying all season long, I don't want this because it's too much pressure. All I wanted was the top 4. It's all I wanted. 18 games to go. Let's see what happens. Right, guys, I just want to say a massive thank you for watching today's episode of the Realistic Career Mode. Honestly, man, thank you so much for supporting the save. It's been incredible. 50 episodes down. It's been amazing. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. It really does mean so much to me. Whether you're new viewers to the channel or you've been here for a while, it's one of my favourite career modes in ages, man. I've absolutely loved it. The support's been amazing. And again, all I can say is thank you so much for your support. Kind words, appreciation, love, engagement. It's been amazing, man. man, and I really do appreciate you guys so much. So I really hope you enjoyed the special episode number 50. If you did, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and the season will continue in the very next episode as the January transfer window opens. But right now, I don't think we need to do anything. But I'll see you for the next episode with Everton 8 points clear at the top very soon. Much love, guys. Love you loads.